Let's go to our second segment, and that concerns the day 116 of the conflict between Israel and Palestine. We've been joined by former Ambassador Naela Chohan. She's right here with me in the studios. Thank you very much, ma'am, to have joined us. Let's begin with the talks on the truce. The Prime Minister of Qatar says good progress is being made towards a new Israel-Palestine hostage deal between the US, Israel and Egypt. Hamas's political chief, the Palestinian, one of the leaders in Palestine, reviews the new truce proposal, saying that priority is to stop the brutal aggression against Gaza and complete withdrawal of the occupation forces. He said this could happen, but in stages. What are you foreseeing as far as this truce is concerned? We have heard so many times about truce and ceasefire, but nothing has ever materialized. Should we be optimistic this time?
You see, a lot of the details of the truce have not been made public yet. Number one. Number two, we have to understand what is going on there. What is Israel's position and what is Hamas's position? Because the negotiators are trying to reduce gap between the two parties. Now, Israel's stated position is they want to eliminate Hamas. And now they are talking also of probably a 45 days truce, in which they will have exchange of hostages. What I understand is that this exchange would entail the return of all the hostages that Hamas has to Israel, while Israel will return 4,000 Palestinians. Now, if you accept that position, it means that Hamas would not have any card to play because they have returned all the hostages, right? Hamas is asking for complete ceasefire, not 45 days truce, because you have seen earlier on also when you had a short truce, what atrocities were committed by Israel after the truce ended. And if you look at the ICJ decision,
look at how Israel violated blatantly the ICJ decision, even when it had asked Israel to, reverse or step back as far as its atrocities were concerned.
But sir, you have to understand the intricacies and nuances of that decision.
Okay.
It was Judge Donahoe, who is an American Jew, who was the judge. Number one, we must bear that in mind. Number two, they said that because South Africa had invoked the Genocide Convention. Now, Genocide Convention defines certain parameters of atrocities which could then be categorized as genocide. So, what the judgment says is that to reduce their violations to a level that it does not fall into Genocide Convention. But it does not stop them from doing this, number one.
Nor does it imply that they are involved in genocide.
No, they haven't said that. They say it's a plausible evidence that
they haven't said it,
Yeah, but they say that they have plausible evidence, but this would be over years of deliberation that it will be proven if it was a genocide or not. Meanwhile, Israel not only continues with its atrocities, and their ministers are still making statements which fall in the category of apartheid. More than that is it's mainly an ideological battle now, because if Israel says elimination of Hamas, what is Hamas? Hamas is an ideology. And if they keep on committing such atrocities, this reaction will continue. So, you really can't eliminate Hamas if you don't learn to respect other people's right to life.
I totally agree with you on that. Ambassador Saiba, I'd like to also understand the whole, galvanization around UNRWA and the stopping of its funding. Joseph Borrell, who represents EU, says that the EU has not stopped the funding as far as UNRWA is concerned, but many other countries have. And UNRWA says that if the funding is stopped, it won't be able to continue with its work beyond February. Antonio Guterres is going to hold a meeting with the major donors today as we speak. There's a difference of time, so I don't know what time it will happen. This is what Stefan Dujarric has said. Should we I have also a bit of optimism there that there might be some consideration by the donors to resume funding, or is that not going to happen?
You have to look at it in its context. Why did they stop funding? They stopped funding because while the rehabilitation work was going on, it was also in evidence of all the atrocities that Israel was committing.
And they were systematically giving evidence of it.
Obviously, when they are, if I give you money to spend on something, you have to report to me on what you have spent. So, if you are reporting to me on what you have spent and it is all the atrocities that have been committed, this is then an evidence against Israel in the international court. So, the global north, I would say, I am sorry to say, I would not even name one country, it is a global north's attitude that they are stopping funding to UNRWA because it is providing evidence. Now, in the negotiation they are saying, oh, this was perhaps some staff members that might have done so, but that is not true. The fact of the matter is that long as there is UN representation there, which is neutral observation of what is going on while helping the Palestinians, it is an evidence against Israel, and they do not want any evidence against Israel. So, there is inherent hypocrisy there. So, even if some countries are saying, oh no, we are continuing, others are saying no, like US has said no, it is basically with that agenda. They want to conceal the atrocities, the level of atrocities that is going on there.
And the level of atrocities, Ambassador Sahiba, are going beyond the level which we have seen in the last few decades.
It is beyond imagination, but Sahib, it is beyond imagination. Even I think today, some of these Israeli IDF people disguised as hospital workers
they gunned down
and shot
and Janine
in the hospital.
Yes.
So,
how low can you stoop to, and what level do you want to go to? And then you want to portray yourself as you are trying to do this for the people. Who are you doing this for? I think it is also, you talked about ideology, Ambassador Sahiba. I think this is also their ideology to extinguish, to exterminate, to mow the lawn, as the statement has come a few months back, on everybody and anybody that comes in their way.
Because of their idea of greater Israel. What are the boundaries of greater Israel is not known. At this moment, they want to include Gaza as part of greater Israel. But what promise have you that they will not enter into Egypt, they will not take over Jordan? So, I mean, as a observer would say that all the regional countries have to now really stand together, because it might become an existential threat to their existence as much. Because Israel is like, a monster that is hogging everything that is coming its way in their ambition to have a greater Israel. What is greater Israel? They keep on changing their maps when they show. So, really it is a very scary situation.
I agree with that, and on top of that you have the Israeli cabinet members and Israeli hierarchy that are getting together to form new enclaves for the Israeli settlers.
But that was their SOP, that was their modus operandi. They would go, their army would first destroy, level the ground, and the settlers, armed settlers, would then follow the army and take over the land, and they have the technology to immediately make homes and they become settlers. So, this is how they have been expanding. The other day we had this seminar in Quaid-e-Azam University, and the Palestinian representative showed that what was Israel as per Balfour Declaration and what is Israel now. What was Palestine? Israel was an enclave in Palestine. Now, Palestine is an enclave in Israel, and that too not accepted. You really do not know. When they are talking about two-state theory at this moment, I wonder what of the two-state will be left for Palestine.
I agree, but the fact is that a lot of countries at this moment are speaking about the two-state solution, that they will go for it, including the United States, including some European countries as well. But of course, one needs to look at the whole situation with a lot of skepticism because of the way Israel has been going on. Speaking of the United States, you know what happened over the weekend in Jordan when 3 of their service members were killed. And Iran says it is not behind it, and it has openly said it through its foreign office. But the US and the allies are pointing fingers at Iran, and they say they will retaliate. When and how the US retaliates is also another huge question mark, and what could be the consequence of it in the region is also another question mark. What is your take on this?
My take is it's a very alarming situation, because they have been trying to rope in Iran, because for them Iran is the biggest threat to Israel. So they have to beat down Iran. Furthermore, what Houthis are doing is impeding Israel's trade, including with India, including with many countries, because the ships are passing from there through the Red Sea. So they are deliberately trying to rope Iran in, and Iran is a very old civilization, 5,000 years of diplomacy. They are very cleverly avoiding to be embroiled while giving fuel to the fire. So if, God forbid, Iran gets roped in, then things will get very messy. So I hope it doesn't.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But as far as current situation is present, we see a lot of complexities in the whole situation that are also slowly and steadily developing. Let's hope, coming back to the thing, that truce comes and that gives the leeway towards a more sustainable peace in the region. That is what we need. Peace, peace, peace is what is the key word in the world right now. Thank you very much, Ambassador Naela Chohan Sahiba, to have joined us and to have talked to us about this conflict that is really engulfing the whole world slowly and steadily. It was the Ukraine conflict, and now it is this, which is even a bigger conflict than what we had seen before in Ukraine. Thank you, ma'am, to have joined us. Last two stories very, very quickly. Firstly, Elon Musk announces first Neuralink wireless brain chip implant. He says that this has been implanted in one of the patients, and it has detected promising neuron spikes or nerve impulses, and the patient is recovering well. The company's goal, as per Elon Musk, is to connect human brains to computers. It says it wants to help tackle complex neurological conditions like that of Stephen Hawking, if you remember very well. And this is what Elon Musk also said, that if Stephen Hawking had been alive, maybe we would have been able to understand and control his situation as well. His product is going to be called telepathy, that will enable control of your phone and computer, and through them almost any device just by thinking. Mr. Musk's telepathy is not the first product that has come in the market. There are other companies that have come. Utah-based BlackRock Neurotech implanted many of the brain-computer interfaces in 2004, and Precision Neuroscience also aims to help people with paralysis. These are the updates, and of course, in the field of science and technology, the updates come almost every single day, but we wanted to share that with you. Finally, the Webb telescope has captured stunning images of 19 spiral galaxies, a batch of newly released images you can see in the parallel window, captured by the James Webb Space Telescope, show in remarkable detail 19 spiral galaxies residing relatively near our Milky Way that offers some kind of an opening or understanding as to how the galaxies were formed, how the universe was formed, as well as the galactic structure and evolution. These pictures were made public yesterday by a team of scientists involved in a project that is known as physics at high angular resolution in nearby galaxies. The closest of this galaxy is the NGC 5068, which is 15 million light years away. It's the closest. And the most distant is NGC 1365, which is 60 million light years away. Of course, these are just new discoveries that we have. We've seen so many television series on that, and this is now the reality of all of that. We will decipher, understand better our universe, and through the James Webb Telescope and so many other discoveries that are happening in the field of science and astronomy as well. With that, we come to an end of today's Newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new segment stories that pertain to us here in Pakistan. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.